What if the enemy you've been fighting your entire life isn't laziness, but fear, quiet, patient, and disguised as comfort? Picture this. The night is deep, the room is silent, and a single lamp spills golden light across your desk. Your to-do list waits like a living thing. You know the deadline is closing in. You can feel it in your chest, yet your hand drifts toward the phone, the fridge, the infinite scroll. We call it procrastination, but the truth hidden inside this small word is larger and far more human than we dare admit. Burka and Lenora M. Yuen spent years unraveling this mystery. In their book Procrastination, Why You Do It, What to Do About It Now, they reveal that procrastination isn't a defect of discipline. It is a secret pact between our ambitions and our fears. Beneath every delayed project and untouched dream lies an intricate story, one written in childhood, etched into our habits and kept alive by the way we measure our worth. Burka and Yuen take us to the roots. As children, many of us learned that achievement was a test of love, that mistakes threatened acceptance. When a parent's praise felt conditional, when criticism cut too deep, we developed a quiet survival strategy: delay the start. Avoid the risk, protect the fragile self from the possibility of failure. Procrastination is not about time management. It is a shield, and a shield, once useful, becomes a prison. Think of the last time you postponed something important. Maybe it was a simple email, maybe a lifelong dream. You probably told yourself you were tired or needed more research or worked better under pressure. But as the authors show, those are masks. Underneath lives the terror of judgment. What if I give my best and it isn't enough? What if success changes me and I lose the people I love? Even the fear of success itself can be paralyzing, because success invites new expectations, new opportunities to fail. Delay becomes a way to stay safe, to remain untouched by the sharp edges of both failure and triumph. The book paints procrastination not as a quirk of personality, but as an emotional tug-of-war. One side is the dreamer who wants to build, create, and dare. The other is the frightened child whispering, "Stay small, stay hidden." Oh, that battle can last for years. Steals more than ours. It drains joy, corrodes confidence, and teaches you to distrust your own intentions. But Burka and Yuen refuse to leave us in the dark. They guide us through a quiet revolution, where awareness is the first strike of light. The moment you see procrastination not as a flaw, but as a message, you reclaim power. Awareness turns the invisible into something you can name and face. The journey they describe is both psychological and practical. Begin with honesty. Notice the thoughts that surface when you face a task. Is there a voice predicting disaster? Are you bargaining with perfection, believing you must deliver something flawless or not at all? Write these fears down. Naming them loosens their grip. The authors invite you to challenge the belief that worth equals performance. You are not your output, you are the one who creates it. This shift sounds small, yet it cuts the root of procrastination at its core. Then comes action, but not the frantic, punishing kind. Tiny, compassionate steps. Break tasks into fragments so small, they feel almost ridiculous. 5 minutes of focused effort. One paragraph? A single phone call. Why so small? Because starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum builds like a tide. I call this the 5-minute miracle. Commit to 5 honest minutes, and the mind often keeps going. It is not a trick. It is a declaration that fear will not dictate the next breath. Equally powerful is the practice of realistic planning. Procrastinators often swing between grandiose goals and self-sabotage. By setting clear, specific, achievable steps, you dismantle the myth of the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only no messy, imperfect, alive. But perhaps the most radical idea in the book is self-forgiveness. Many procrastinators live in quiet shame, believing they are weak or broken. Shame fuels the cycle. You delay, you judge yourself. The judgment deepens the fear, and you delay again. Burka and Yuen show that compassion is the only force strong enough to break it. Forgive yesterday's delays. Begin again today. Freedom lives not in punishment, but in the gentle decision to start where you are. The authors also urge us to examine the subtle rewards we gain from procrastination. There is the thrill of the last-minute rush, the illusion of control, the temporary escape from responsibility. Recognizing these hidden payoffs doesn't condemn you, it frees you to choose differently. You are allowed to seek excitement in healthier ways. You are allowed to claim your time as your own. Imagine what becomes possible when the veil lifts. No more frantic all-nighters, no more quiet dread. Instead, a life of deliberate action where creativity flows, not because fear is gone, but because it no longer commands the stage. The task doesn't have to be easy or perfect, it only has to begin. Burka and Yuen's message lands with a quiet thunder. Procrastination is not a life sentence. It is a pattern learned, and anything learned can be unlearned. The first step is not to work harder, but to see clearer. You're not lazy, you're protecting yourself. And you can choose another way. So tonight, when the screen glows and the world tempts you to drift, pause. Feel the fear behind the delay. Thank it for trying to keep you safe, and then, with a breath, begin. 5 minutes. One small action. The future you ache for waits on the other side of that simple start. If these words stir something in you, let them. The next chapter of your life is not written by deadlines or distractions. It's written by the moments you decide to begin. Pick up procrastination, why you do it, what to do about it now, not as another task to postpone, but as a companion on the path to freedom. And as you close this video, don't just nod and move on. Choose one thing right now and take the smallest first step. Because the distance between delay and destiny is only the space of a single decision made today.